has chosen the Celtic Cross spread for your general monthly reading, which is perfect for this setup since it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but focuses the most on what is going on right now. It is also the only spread that I do that devotes a card and a position to the environment. So there is likely something around you this month that Spirit wants to bring your awareness and attention towards. And that is what we're going to do today. Welcome in, Cancers. Let's get started with your Celtic Cross. Good to have you here. Let's talk about some February, shall we? What you and all that you are and what crosses you. That is where we begin in the Celtic Cross, and what they show is a very kind of conflicting energy, and it makes me feel like I got groups of Cancers going in different ways here. So I got half of my Cancers-ish, approximately, starting something brand new. And this is unlocalized energy. This is very long distance energy, very far away. I don't know if it means that you're traveling in February or if they mean that they just want you to look at a bigger perspective, bigger scope here. We're not just right in front of your face. That would be localized energy. They're talking about look bigger, look wider. Maybe for some of you, this is like a job that is further away than you maybe were looking before, longer distance commute, something like that. Or this could be anywhere along that route. This card also represents a new chapter in your life. If you look at your life like a book, this is just a brand new chapter. So a lot of Cancers here, half of my group, are starting something brand new with this unlocalized energy. Now for the rest of you, very different energy, because we move into what crosses you here is my Hierophant card on an invert, read backwards, and here they're talking about something that is toxic that needs to be purged. We got to get rid of something here. This is a major arcana card, letting me know it's a major theme. Not so good about the specifics, but it's okay because Spirit told us what to do about this. They bring in moon cycles with my Oracle Angel card. It says right in the card, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. Okay, they want you to pay attention to these moon cycles. So whether you're my Cancers who are doing something brand new, that is going to be new moon energy. If you are my Cancers that need to get something out of your life, that is going to be very full moon energy. The full moon this month is going to be a micro full moon. That just means it's small in the sky, not too relevant. You can still use it to your benefit. If you are my new moon Cancers, you're starting something new with that unlocalized energy we just talked about. That is what you want to pay attention to, that new moon here. And that new moon is going to be a super new moon in the month of February. So pay huge attention to that when we get into your moon cycle. Spirit here is kind of drawing a line to it, making a bridge right from the beginning of your reading all the way to the moon cycles. Pay attention, Cancer. You guys can add or subtract some major things in your life in the month of February. Let's move back in the past, guys. Cancer, as we go backwards, this is the recent past position in the Celtic Cross. It devotes a card here to talk about something that is still attached into your February, but it happened before. Now they talk about something that is incomplete here. Something that you guys are maybe still working on getting complete, working on getting wrapped up, some kind of project. Maybe it's a relationship. Who's to say? In a general reading, very hard to pinpoint these major themes, and that is my World card inverted. So it usually means incomplete, like a box that needs to be checked off that just, it's not done yet. That's why we say incomplete, right? So, good time to remind you guys too that this is a general reading. If you're looking for personal, private messages that are specific only to you and not all of your Cancer friends here in one place, those are available, guys. ScottSagent.com. I offer a wide variety of products, all the way from small, all the way up to full service. A little something for everybody there. In this back past position, they remind you that you are safe, okay? That's the most important part I can tell you guys here. For the past, the recent past, it's Archangel Michael, so the big one of only 2 named angels in the Bible. Okay, I am protecting you against the lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. That's letting me know that some of my Cancers here in the recent past have been worried about something like that. And Spirit here is letting you know it's actually good. We got your back. You're protected. You are safe. As we move forward into the future, and also your projects that you're trying to get done, you can get it done. You can get this, whatever this is that's unfinished, you can get it done. As we move forward into your forward position here, guys, something that is coming up here soon. It's a relationship between 2 people. It's on a block, so that it can be on a block for a multitude of different reasons. One of these could be, hey, these 2 people are going to be working together, but not now. And that's why it is a future position card. It's happening in the future. Maybe you don't even know what I'm talking about right now. now. That's another thing that Spirit could be kind of hinting at here with it being blocked or on a delay, something that is not happening right now. This is a relationship between two people. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic, a work relationship, a coworker, a best friend of yours, a bunch of different things. But in the near future, this is going to come up. So you're going to be spending a lot of time with this other person. And maybe for some of you singles, this will be romantic, which would be a good thing for you. Now, and that also reminds me of chemistry tracking. Since we're talking a little bit about love there, the chemistry tracking was a little wonky this month. That is posted on my website, scottsagent.com. It is also posted on Facebook, on the Facebook page. You can check that out for free. Always, guys, the chemistry tracking show what sign you guys are vibing well with and a little bit conflicted with repel in the month of February. And this is one of those months that was just a really weird chemistry tracking. So this coming up in the future could be saying, hey, you know what, Cancers? Maybe wait till March, okay? As we move into your above position. Above position, we have really, really good perception, guys. This is something you're already aware of, so I'm not telling you anything new. This is stuff you already know. You know, no, nothing new there. Checking in good. But what this is about is this is the return of a friend. So some of you have somebody returning into your life, maybe coming back to visit, maybe texting you, reaching out from your past. Not sure of what version of this is, but this is a return of a friend. Some of you don't want this friend here, but others of you are welcoming this kind of rekindling of the past, so to speak. This can also mean a really good perception on something that you used to be about confused on, and it may be both happening at the same time. But this is coming in like letting you know that it's like, you're aware of it. Obviously, Spirit feels like you have it under control, or they would present it, I would imagine, in a very different way. Bottom position. This is my favorite in the Celtic Cross because now I'm telling you something you're not aware of. And what they're telling you here is you need to pay very close attention about not letting something go kind of crazy, kind of go off on the rails, so to speak. You got to really take a lot of pride in something in February. For a lot of you, this is going to be financial. This is going to be your finances or your health for most of my audience, okay? You probably aren't sure about what I specifically mean by that because it's an under position. So Spirit's saying, hey, you know what? Cancer's they're not really up on this yet. They don't get it yet. But you'd probably have a pretty good idea of knowing, if this is going to be a health-related message or a financial. So if your health is in like tip-top shape, you got nothing going on with health whatsoever, this is going to be a financial message for you. And vice versa, if your finances are like perfect tip-top shape, nothing to worry about, it's more than likely going to be a health message for you. Coming in the bottom position, they just want you to pay close attention to it. Take great pride in it. It is kind of my artist card of like, building something beautiful here. And just like the artist takes great care of his painting or his sculpture, in the same way, they want you to take care of this issue that arises here in February for my great Cancers. Let's go running up the sides here, guys. Number 7, another big theme. 7 is your advice section. So Spirit is saying you really need to cut something loose here. I go back to the purging that they talk about at the beginning. So a lot of Cancers do have something to get rid of. I don't know if that's sell, repurpose, just purge altogether, expel from your life, people, emotional baggage, mental baggage, belongings, reselling things, donating things, all that stuff falls under here. So the advice is to purge. They want you to get it's the card of bondage with my devil card, but since it's inverted, they're really talking about breaking free from the bondage. So you really want to break free from whatever this is that's got a hold on you, Cancers, that you don't want. And February is the time to do it because they not only say that, but then they say spread your wings and fly. It's a woman pictured with wings on. It says do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar, Cancer. You are ready to soar. We'll talk about that more in your runestone too. Timing is good. February is it. As we move up here, guys, now this is your environment, Cancer. Your environment coming in for February talks about very good mindset, very authoritative. For some of you, they could be talking about the boss being a big theme for some of you because this is kind of the corporate boss in corporate America. And coming up in your environment, that would mean that the boss is there. The boss is in the office. The boss is around. Boss is looking at you. Could mean that for some of my working folks. For others of you, this is just a more of a general, broad sense of just the environment that you are in, whether it be home, work, all that stuff. You just got a firm mind on it, okay? And that's good. Otherwise, they'd be doing this, flipping it around on me, which they did not do. So you guys are of great firm mind, but you need to keep being that way. It's coming up. So they don't want you to kind of get loose like a chicken would here. If you look at my I take a picture of the spreads before, and I post them on Facebook before I actually read them and mess up my table and start moving things around where I want. So if you want to check out what I'm talking about here, when I say don't run around like a chicken, this card is a king posted as a chicken or a rooster. Okay, and you can see that pictured on Facebook if you want to look at Cancer's spread picture. Now, the environment here is basically saying you don't want to get into that. You want to keep your head on straight. And that is going to be a very big driver for a lot of my Cancers in February. Moving up, hopes and fears. This is a good one. A lot of you have hopes for the home, they show, the home environment specifically. So not only are you of sound mind, but you are also working toward goals and progress with your environment, the place that you stay, whether it be decorating, renovating, working, maybe just spending more time at home relaxing. I'm not sure what version of this is, but it looks very good. It is a good home energy card. I like to see that. That is a good hope to have. Good job, Cancers. And then we wrap up with number 10. Number 10 is the final outcome position. And here for your final outcome, Cancers, they show a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of remnants of the past, remembering of the past. We talked about that a little bit with return of a friend. That could be why you're remembering the past. And that could also let you know that this is later in February. At least that's where it's coming in for most Cancers. Of course, everybody, timing's a little different, but that's what they show here. And this can also be a card about maturity, where they're saying, make sure that you stay mature at the end of the month. Don't let other people suck you down to their level. You want to keep the high road approach. So it's about an emotional, really, a heart maturity here is what they call for at the end of your month. And this can also be a card that represents children. In the deck that they wanted me to use for you, it is less about children. In fact, they show two little rabbits here, but it could mean two children or, what we talked about, the two friends spending more time with somebody else coming up very soon here that they showed. So there's a lot of, if you read between the lines, there's a lot of connectivity between you and another person in the month of February. You can see it from the very beginning kind of through your entire cross. So it wraps up at the end of the month that way with a little bit of nostalgia, and that's fine as far as it's healthy. And you are the only one who can determine whether this be a healthy nostalgia or an unhealthy one. And of course, if it's an unhealthy one, you know what you got to do with it. You got to get into that full moon. We're about to do that right now. But first, your runestone. You guys got the runestone of opening. Opening for the month of February. So February is creating a bridge, a space for you to do something great here. We talked about a few examples of what that could be. A lot of you doing home type of deals, selling something, purging something. You guys are making some waves, and that's good. That's what Spirit likes to see, because energy stagnated, it just doesn't flow. Things stack up and it just causes stress, anxiety, physical problems, sickness. So we don't like any of that. So we have a lot of movement here, and I like the way that looks, Cancer. So keep that momentum going forward as we move into the momentum of your moon cycles right now. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there. Something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Hello friends, and welcome into your homily, February 2024 edition. My name is Scott Sagent, and the name of this homily this month is Don't Let It Rain on Your Parade. We're going to be talking about managing expectations here. Good expectations that we might be too high on, expecting too much from, bad things, expecting bad days, and how we can get way too low on that. Finding a nice middle ground here. The first and very most important thing to start with is that us, as human beings, we are just prediction machines. Our mind is computing and processing a whole bunch of stimuli every single second of every single day, trying to figure out what's going to happen next so that you can be in the right present moment, making the best decisions for you at that time. So just like if you come up to a stop sign and there's another car, you're trying to figure out, both you guys are really, who's going to go first, who's going to do what you're trying to figure out what they're going to do so you don't crash into them, right? Same thing if a stranger walks up to you, you're trying to figure out, analyze the heck out of it as quick as you're not even realizing it's happening at this point. It happens automatically, but you're trying to figure out, is this stranger coming up to me? Can they be trusted? Are they a good person? Or are they going to rob me? Okay, so we're doing all these kind of things all the time, all these computations behind the scene. And as a result of all that, we come up with expectations, our version of the future, whether it be a good event or a negative event, doesn't matter. We're creating these expectations all the time about what we expect to happen. But here's the thing, a lot of times these expectations do not happen. Never happens at all. Or maybe they're not as good as we want them to be, or as bad as we would like to avoid. So let's get into a little bit of that. Now, I like to look at this with a frame that I call the 5% rule. So let's take a good example first. Hey, you're going to Disneyland, you're going to a theme park, doesn't matter which one, pretend, okay, you're going to have the best day ever. Your expectations are way up here. You're like, I'm going to meet these characters, I'm going to get to go on all these rides, I'm going to, live out my childhood dreams and just have a great day all the way up here. That's what you're expecting, okay? And that's fine. Maybe it'll happen, but there's only that 5% rule, the 5% chance that you're going to get to the tippy top of what is actually going to occur. Stuff happens, stuff goes wrong, and if you're up there, that 5%, well, the reality is that you're going to be somewhere in that other 95% range, which is way down here, okay? So even if it's a good day and it's up here, it's like, well, I didn't get to go on all the rides I wanted to go on. I got to go on half of them, but there's the other half, and the lines were too long. Or, maybe down here, it rained all day. They had to shut down some rides. It didn't work out at all for me. That was not what I was expecting at all. So anywhere off of your top tier of what you were expecting before is going to be a letdown. You're going to feel that very deeply in you, like, something is just not really good. Not a good feeling, not a good emotion to have. Now let's look at a negative one. Same rule of fives apply. Hey, you got to go to a dentist appointment. And this is going to be one where you're expecting a procedure to happen that is going to be a little painful, a little bit of uncomfortness going on, and you're just not looking forward to it. Okay, so your expectation is like down, down, down here. I'm not sure if I'm off the camera, but I'm pretty low down here. So anyway, the same 5% rule applies, guys. Same 5% rule. It's usually not as bad as you expect it to be, the bad things, okay? You're going to be in that 95% range somewhere else. So, hey, you get this procedure done, and okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. That didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Maybe it was an uncomfortable hour and a half. But you know what? Now, I was up here. That wasn't that bad. Now I can feel like that weight is lifted off my shoulder. I got that out of the way, done and checked off my list. So it's the rule of the 5%. Now, what do we do with this information, right? Now, a lot of people say, oh, you just got to eliminate the expectations. Just get rid of them altogether. You don't need them, right? We don't need to have expectations about what's going to happen, whether it be good or bad. Well, that's a utopia. That is just not realistic, since we are human prediction machines. We are always trying to figure stuff out, and without expectations, that would leave us with nothing to ever look forward to. And of course, it's okay to look forward to something. You just got to manage this. So let's talk about how we manage these. Giving those two examples that I gave you earlier, let's go through both of them. The Disney World, having a great time, expectations up to here. Hey, you know what? Let's bring the expectation into middle keel. You know why? Because I expect that I'm going to have fun no matter what happens. Because at the end of the day, it is not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. It's the decisions you make. So if you go into the day thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to have the best time possible with whatever situations and circumstances come up. I'm going to make sure that this is a good day. Okay, so you're up here and you're nice and good. That's managing your expectations for the good. Now let's talk about managing the low side. That dentist appointment, that painful procedure, that cavity filling, that root canal, whatever it is. Okay, well, what do we do about this? You tell yourself, hey, you know what? It might not be that bad. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to check it off my list, and I'm going to put it behind me. You're going to attack the day in a much more middle keel. And the likelihood is you're going to hit that 95% either way. So it's all going to work out kind of more in the middle regardless. Nothing is ever as bad as we expect it to be. And usually nothing is ever as good as we expect it to be either. And that's okay, because we're managing expectations. Of course, this doesn't always come naturally to everybody. Sometimes it does take a little bit of practice and implementation to lower these expectations, or at least manage the kind of middle ground, that 95% range of both sides of things. But the rain will come. It always does. The challenges in life will come. Nothing ever works out like we intend it to, whether it be too good or too bad. And the good news is that it puts the power back in your corner, because again, it is not what happens to you. It is what you do with what happens to you. You remember that, you'll be in great shape, guys. So that is going to conclude your homily for February 2024. Do not let it rain on your parade, guys. I'm telling you. That's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. Have an excellent February. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.